Man, I didn't think I was going to get to the camera there. Hi, how you doing there? I'll do the preamble at the end. So, for new viewers, hi, my name is Paul Murphy. To my my coterie, my faithful friends, it's still me. This is kind of a new song, but it's not a song, so I haven't broken my there will be no more Paul Murphy songs rule, because it's a poem. I mean, it's a song in the fact that it's got music in my head, but as I'll never get to play it, thank you disability, it shall remain a poem, I guess. And this was written at 5:55 a.m. this morning in Yeovil District Hospital. And the old days, songs would come to me, you know, and I would have no pen and paper. I've been trying to come up with mnemonics and stuff, and dashing around and everything. These days, you know, a song comes to me and I just texted it down. Yeah, maybe I'll tell you the story at the end. As ever with me, it doesn't have a title. The title is going to be it's got several titles. It could be For Christine. It could be Christine, parentheses, Ocean Eyes. It could be Ocean Eyes, parentheses, Christine. Or it could be Christine with the Ocean Eyes. Which would you prefer? I'm going to call this Your Ocean Eyes, parenthesis, Christine. Screen keys going blank. Oh man, now I've got no voice. I've been awake for, I got home from the hospital a little while ago, and I've been awake for about 30 hours straight now. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. I could swim in your ocean eyes, past the stardust moon to the new sunrise, while the nightingale sings her melody to backdrop the joy you bring to me. Tomorrow is always so far away, so let's make the most of each today. Your comet-trail smile lights my every step, diaphanous dreams that I will never forget. When darkness comes and shades my soul and leads me astray as the storm clouds roll, I never will be lost, for come what may, your angel wing eyes shall guide my way. If this should be all that we share between here and heaven and who knows where, I will hold each sacred second dear and cherish them through all my years. Actually, the first 3 verses came to me at 5:55. I'm sitting there blind in a freezing cold hospital waiting room wearing this gown and not a small amount of pain. And typing this one. When I'd finished burning my irises out, it occurred to me that you can do that thing, can't you? Make the text larger and everything. Anyway, so I wrote it. So shall I tell you the story then? You want to hear the story? Well, there's not much of a story there, but I'll tell you a little bit about it in any case. What I'd intended to do, I thought I will make a, since I can't play the guitar anymore, that I'll make a poetry reading. I'm looking in the wrong place. I'm so sorry. I'm fascinated by these photographs of my children that I found yesterday from New Year's Day 2018. Focus on you. So I thought some of the newer songs and the unrecorded songs, I might make a another poetry video. I might come to it later, but I'm just so it's just the one song. Yeah, I wasn't feeling too special yesterday. It's a slight understatement. Just for a little while there, I thought the curtains might be closing. Anyway, so I phoned someone for some advice, and they sent an ambulance round. Yeah, I'll tell you a true story, right? Okay, I swear this is true. So I was getting worse and worse and worse, and I took half an aspirin, and I had my heart monitor down there, and it was, I think it was 152/65 at 8 o'clock, and then so I took half an aspirin and went up to a little bit more, and then I think it hit 160/76. No, I thought, I'll just take some advice. I didn't know that was a good number or not, you know. I did know that my chest felt like, you know, it was a reverse tug of war. You know, someone was playing a squeeze box and accordion, like, and it's still there now, and I couldn't breathe. And you know, oxygen is a very handy attribute to be bestowed upon. I've bestowed upon one. So I phoned up this NHS helpline, and they said, you know, what's your name? I said, Paul Murphy, and they went, Dyke! We know all about you. What's all this? These days would be that, wouldn't it? You know, the mime for a telephone would be that these days. Away, you foul demon. So I'm having chest pains. This is a heart attack. Go for a 10-mile jog and see. Carry some bricks on your shoulders while you're going. There's Murphy, yeah. That one. And so anyway, I didn't really get more than a couple of paces into the thing, and the lady, lovely lady, and she said, I'm calling an ambulance for you. I've got your medical records here, and is there anything you don't have that would be quicker to get through? So she said, okay, you keep the phone ready to go, and call 999, but there was no phone signal. I had to shuffle on my backside out there trying to find a signal. I thought, well, any second now I'm going to be sending it through via a Ouija board, you know, and there wouldn't be any signal on that either, you know. Save up, get a new 5G Ouija board. Now the spirits can come from even further beyond. So there was only going to be a tiny video. And it was starting to get dark by then, so I've got just this spotlight down here, because obviously, you know, I live on the sofa and everything. And Chris Farley, you know, luxury, Van Dam by the river, luxury lad. I live on a sofa. Not even my own. Share 15 hamsters and a gerbil and a hedgehog called Edgar. What am I on about? I'm on about 20 a day, I think. So I'm sitting here just trying to think, you know, nice thoughts, and clutching some messages that my children have sent to me, and I had them here, a little jigsaw that I take everywhere with me, you see in the back of all my videos and everything. And I mean, on a serious note, I was actually in two minds. I was thinking, well, you know, obviously I don't want to croak today, but we know the end is coming soon in any case, and this might be an opportunity to have a quick one. You know, it's not going to be painless, but it's hopefully pretty quick, as opposed to a slow drawn out one anyway, you know. But each day it comes down to the children. Each day that I'm still walking on the planet, crawling the planet, in no matter how much pain and anguish and humiliation, really, you know, all one's dignity goes with this disease. Having been a musician for 45 years, you know, one doesn't have much dignity in any case. Like it's like Penny says in The Big Bang Theory, he's a musician who will sleep in a pool of his own vomit if he has to. And the true story is, of course, they will sleep in pools of someone else's vomit. So it's getting dark, and I've got this light here, my eyes are shut, and I'm slumped back against the sofa, this pounding, squeezing in my chest, and the pain. Instead of being able to breathe, and I couldn't, and my breathing still hasn't come back. I only take these little short breaths there. And I heard something pull up, and I thought, that's got to be the ambulance, but nothing. And I'd said to the lady on the telephone, just tell them the back door's always unlocked because I can't lock the back door. Just tell them to just walk on in. You know, I'm the melting, moaning Irish lump that they will find slumped on a sofa. Carrying a Bible, a Quran, some rosary beads. I like to hedge my bets. Sometimes I like to bet my hedges. And yes, I used to be in hedge funds. Grown. No, I haven't grown at all. I'm the same height as I've been for many a year. So, where was we going with this? Where was we going with this, boys? I don't know. Oh yeah, so pitch black, and no one came in. I thought, oh well, it couldn't have been the ambulance. I don't banging and crashing outside, you know. There's a narrow country lane here in this tiny little village, and so I'm just trying to think happy thoughts. All of a sudden, on the blasted window, and there's some guy there shining this mega torch in my face out, and I was like, what the? So okay, you've been called out because you got a guy down there who's got chest pains, a guy with a history of heart disease is calling because he's got chest pains and can't breathe. So what do you do in pitch black night? You sneak around the back of his house and boom, 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 boom on the window with a torch like this. I was like, oh. So my first words to him were not poetic. In my own inimitable Irish fashion, I asked him what he thought he was playing at. We're the ambulance crew. Yeah, I kind of figured that, you know. And I hope you've got an ECG machine with you and some fresh underwear. Anyway, how do we get in? I said, through the door. What the heck? How high going to be? Look, it's a semi-detached house. It's got 3 sides at most, and of those 3 sides, 2 of them got doors. One of them has no door but has a window. Guess which side they went to. I thought I'll just get a Sharpie and draw a picture of my heart on my chest, you know, so they'll know where to find it when they get in here. So, and it went downhill a bit, you know, so anyway, that kind of struck me as funny. Because he came in, this guy and this girl, man and woman, and he said, so who are you? And I said, I'm Paul Murphy. I said, as I know full well that you know. And the girl went, well, we're getting off to a great start, aren't we? I was just about to say, just forget it, like, you know. And anyway, things go, so he said, you know, I hate it when they play for mugs, and why are we here? Well, so what you're saying then is that what you're basically saying is the NHS control have phoned you up and said, Fred and Ethel, I want you to go round to do at West Camel. Click. No name, no details of what you're going round there for or anything like that. And I really resent being played for a mug by them, and I resent the fact they would play anyone like a mug. Anyway, so I showed them the blood pressure readings, and he said, well, that doesn't look too, that's okay, he said, and I said, I've taken half an aspirin, and I said, I've not known this has been going on for a couple of hours now. And I said, so is that a good reading? He said, yeah, that's not too bad. He said, that's nothing particularly worrying. He said, anyway, he said, you look a bit too healthy to be having, for someone who's having a heart attack. Okay. And I said, okay, well, thanks for your time. And he goes, well, no, we can't just leave it there. We have to do some tests, he said. He said, well, a matter like this, he said, with your history, we'll have to take you into the hospital. I thought, my history, but you don't know who I am, and you don't know why you're out here, like, you know. Anyway, so they got a wheelchair in. Shall I go through the whole preamble of the wheelchair? And they were so helpful. Their help consisted of, you need to get from there into this wheelchair. And that was it. And they were filing their nails, you know, and knitting some booties or something like that. I don't know. So I'm trying to get some purchase, you know, because obviously these are the only, I've got a small bit of shoulder muscle left, and that was the end of it. Getting into it, knocked over the other chair, the lid of which came off. My laptop was sitting on it. That went flying. Oh, what fun it was. Oh, what fun it was to ride an NHS ambulance. So then they wheeled me out because my wonderful neighbours would deliberately let their gardens overgrow so we can't get down the path. And there's no street lights here, you don't get much for your poll tax, by which I mean you get nothing at all. So we had to take the long route to the ambulance, just at which point one of the neighbours pulled up in her car as well. So I thought, I just knew where that was going, like, you know, however it played out, you know, the text would be going like, ambulance, he might have gone, might be free of him. And so we had to repeat the process, and they said, well, we would need to do an ECG. Can you get up on the bed? And I said, well, you know, can't we do it? You know, with me sitting here, oh no, you have to be lying on the bed, yeah. And you know, and we're just going to put some tacks in it. Do you have tacks in America, drawing pins? I think you maybe call them that, just to make it nice and comfy for you. Anyway, so we get up there and they attach various electrodes to me, I guess, you know, and you know, the croc clips, you know. It's alive! Colin Clive, Frankenstein, 1931, you know. I thought they're going to Strickfaden me. How many of you got that reference, huh? And I said, just wire me into the mains and off we go, you know. Anyway, the ECG didn't seem to come up with anything to. So I said, like, if the ECG's okay, just wheel me back in. I said, well, no, we've got to take that. You know, you told me in there that my blood pressure reading's not too bad, and the heartbeat, and I said, you now said the ECG isn't too bad, and I said, I really don't want to go in Yeovil Hospital. Well, why not? So that led into an interesting conversation on some of my experiences at Yeovil District Hospital. And of course, what did that do? I mean, I just sent the stress levels off the roof, like, you know, so if I wasn't having a heart attack to start with, I damn well was by the time I finished telling about some of the stunts that Yeovil Hospital had pulled. Anyway, so we go in. Even then, halfway in, I said, look, no, forget it. I said, because one of the last times I was in, I said, they just wheeled me outside in my wheelchair at 1 o'clock in the morning on the 17th of December, January. I said, it was -7. They just left me there half naked with no money to freeze there. I said, just turn around and go home. I said, I'll take my chances. Well, we're nearly there now, he said, you know. Well. So we went on in, and so they I think, yeah, that's right, yeah, still in the wheelchair, I think, yeah, so did they put me up on a bed? That's right, they got me up on a bed, and then the doctor went through and went, no, waiting room with him. So then I pick up the bed back into the wheelchair. I did more exercise, get in and out of wheelchairs. Oh man, it's like being back in the army, got to run the Tour Challenge again. And so then I sit in the waiting room, gathering moss. And although the ambulance driver was very nice. They got because all I had on was a pair of jeans, you know. And well, why did I say you know? Of course you don't know. You know now. And they got me a gown and a blanket, and so I said thank you. And as soon as they turned their backs, I put them on for sale on eBay. Like no, one careful owner. Where did we go from there? I think it's getting a bit blurry now, as indeed my eyes. Yeah, they said we're going to put you in and we're going to triage you. I thought, oh, that sounds good. Triage is not what you think it is. Anyway, so I've been sitting in there for about 4.5 days, and people are milling around, and people are getting, you know, wheeled in and everything, and seen and some of the people, I just thought, I mean, I don't wish to be offensive, but I mean, there was one guy that got wheeled in, and I'm sure the person that wheeled him in was very nice, but I thought, you know, they're going to find you, you know, in a river in the morning, you know, well, maybe over the course of a few days or something, you know. I think we're going to see that guy again. But anyway, but there was one lady there, and I thought, no, that looks like a nice lady. And the first bit of luck I ever had in Yeovil District Hospital. So I'm now zipping off at this point. I don't know what time it was, but the door opens and I hear, Murphy? Paul Murphy? And through my numbed brain, and the name rings a bell. Oh yes, so I look up. And I said, I'm Paul Murphy. Crashing piano chords, dun dun dun, the whole waiting room. So I went, I'm Paul Murphy, and the whole waiting room in unison went, dun dun dun. That didn't happen. And this young lady came over, and she was an absolute vision of loveliness. I know you shouldn't judge a book by the cover, but we all do. And there's nothing wrong with judging books by the covers as well, folks. You know, I mean, just make sure you read the contents as well, if it's one of my books. But yeah, she was. I'm just jaw-droppingly beautiful. What more can I say? You know, and with a face mask on. But when she spoke, her eyes. Well, you can over-exemplify these things. You know, like at the fairground. You know, when you hit the gopher or whatever it is. You know, everything goes like a pinball machine and boom, 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 Vegas, and her eyes. You know, maybe it's through my clenched teeth and clenched arteries, but they just seem to light up and sparkle with this. And if you ever look at my cue cards on my song cue cards on some of my old video recordings, you know, a lot of them I have a lot of pictures of eyes on that. And I thought, well, this isn't, you know, this is a piece of good luck, you know, and even if we only spend this brief time together, you know, I'm going to get wheeled into a waiting room or an abattoir by this lady. So, but you have to come out of the waiting room, and the doors, you'd think on the wheelchairs, you would have, so they've got these little badges, so it's a security door, so they have to stop the wheelchair and get their badge and go, boop, and the door opens. And I thought, why not just put that on the wheelchair? So as you're wheeling the wheelchair through, you know, then the wheelchair opens it, and you don't. So we're going. So the door opens, and we're going through, and I'm thinking, what a lovely lady it is. Ah! And she'd driven me straight into the door jamb. So I now have 3 dark purple toes on my left foot. As ever with Yeovil Hospital, not one time have I ever been in Yeovil Hospital and come out with less injuries than I went in with. Every time I come out with an extra injury that I never had before, an extra disease. I got COVID going in there once. I blanked out, hit my head on the door once. We weren't talking about the emotional injuries. So, but through gritted teeth, you know, I mean, this young lady did not get the kind of context that the ambulance drives in on it. So, as if I'm not gritting my teeth enough for this, I've now got my toes going as well, you know. And she said, oh, I'm sorry, and I'm going, that's all right. Thinking, just, you know, just shoot me now, end it now. And I think she won the pool. I think they were all, okay, right, you wheel him into the wall. We've all got a fiver on each as to how many decibels he was screaming, you know. So then we go in, and we go into a cubicle, and she says, I'm going to take some blood from you. I mean, they just take it. I mean, does no one buy anything anymore? So, and so even through my near-death experience, I make glasses, and and desperate need for which one's metatarsals? Well, anyway, you know, pedicural impairment. and the lady says, so can I take you? And she asked me my name and my date of birth, and I think, oh God, well, I need to find out what's happening. Well, I'm desperate to knock 20 years off. Actually, this is a true story. And I told her my date of birth, and I said, and I did take 20 years off, and I said, well, but it will be the 10th of June, if I can get away with it. And she went, no. Okay, so that's my toes, my self-esteem. What else do you want from me? And she said, so can I take your hand? And I said, well, I wasn't planning on getting married again, but yeah, we can make it work. I said, it's going to be a short-term relationship, though. And from behind the face mask came a laugh of pure gossamer silk. So they took some blood, and where did we go from there? Oh yeah, anyway, that was it, yeah. So then they took the blood, and then they wheeled me out, and they left me in a corridor. I wasn't the only one. I think personally there was a whole bunch of people in the corridor, but I was in a bad way by then. I'd been awake for I don't know how long. The pain, well, on a serious note, the pain was not getting any better. In fact, it was getting worse. This exponential spreading out. And the young lady said, and I asked her what the ECG said, and she said, well, we'll let the doctor tell you that. But no, you have some fun as well, like, you know. And she said, well, the doctor will speak to you when we get the blood test back and discuss this. Because they already told me that there might have been a blockage. The ambulance crew told me that. That's why there was an excuse for taking me in. They said, well, it might not be a heart attack, but it could be a blockage, and you do have a blocked proximal artery on your records. I said, I don't have it on my records, I have it on my heart. Where was I? I'm probably on to a second file now. I need to speed this up. So I sat in a corridor. This has got to be, I don't know, but this must be about 9 o'clock at night by now, yeah? Okay. So, and I sat there. And I was slumping down further, and obviously the legs, you know, so much agony from the leg impairment. I can't move. My arms are too weak to move. You know, when I'm doing this stuff, when I can move, I try and move just to stop blood clots in the legs. And no one was seeing me. Everyone else was getting seen. And people were just walking past, and I was just completely ignored. After about 6 hours, my breathing, I was aware that my jaw was drooling, painting a lovely picture, and it was getting very hard to breathe then, and it was very, what the heck is that sound coming out of my lungs? But it sounded like I was listening to someone else, you know. It was like an out-of-body experience. But everyone, I mean, I'm sure they were all busy and everything, but I mean, you know, this has been going on for I don't know how long, hours and hours and hours. Even this young lady who wheeled me out and taken the blood, you know, just walked past them, nothing, you know, must have walked past me 20 times. You know, not, are you warm enough, are you okay, or it won't be long now, you know, just a little bit of human contact, you know. And, but there was one lady, I might choke up here, and I hadn't seen before, and so bless you, madam, you will know who you are. And she was going back through, and at that point I lost, my jaw had seized up, because that's what happens these days when I'm not using it. When is that? And she said, you okay? And she lifted my arm up, my arm had fallen down, I couldn't get my arm up. And I was really, and I just sort of looked at my wrist, and there must have been something on the wristband that told her who was seeing me, and I heard her say to someone off camera, you know, is anyone looking after Mr. Murphy? And she came in, she says, is there anything I can get you? And I said, some pain medication, please, you know. So she said, can someone get Mr. Murphy some pain medication, please? She went and she got me a blanket, because there was no headrest on their wheelchairs. So there's just like one pole there where they hang down, I don't know, a shroud when you've gone, or, you know, the bottles of everything up there, you know. I guess it's, you know, the NHS, you know, those hats that Americans wear at the parade, you know, beer hats, you know. So this is the NHS equivalent. The painkillers never ever arrived, by the way. They never came. I had someone say at one point, to off camera again, Kevin, did you get Mr. Murphy his pain relief? And whatever Kevin's answer was, what he goes, oh, Kevin. And a voice went, Kevin, you won't know wait. He's in a lot of pain. Anyway, I later found out it was about 4 o'clock in the morning. I'd had enough at that point. I was freezing cold. Saying no pain medication, no one was seeing me, everyone else was being seen to. They only had 2 doctors on, and they were saying, well, they had to deal with the emergencies first. I don't know, you know, no one's seen me. You don't know if I'm an emergency or not. So, and as someone was walking past, I corralled her and I said, can you move me out there, please? Well, I don't know about that. So they wheeled me out. She says, okay, if he wants to go out there. So they wheeled me out to the hospital waiting room, because I'm in the hospital bit. And as soon as they'd all cleared off, I just got on the phone and got a taxi number off the wall and trying to book a taxi. I'll just get a taxi and I'll just tell them they've got to come in and get my wheelchair, and you know, I'll get them to wheel me outside the hospital and put the wheelchair next to the taxi and I'll get in, and you know, I've seen how much they care, so I'm not staying here for this. But there were no taxis in Jordan, and so I'll leave it. So I was trying through from 4:30 till 5:30. No taxis, no answers. Anyway, then the doctor finally came and saw me. Mr. Murphy, I said, well, I was when I came in. I may have evolved into a whole new life form by now. And I can't remember, she asked me, oh, she wheeled me in through, back in again. This time I'm keeping it, holding everything in, you know. And she asked me, I was just showing her my muscular wastage, and she asked some questions about the chest pains and everything. And I said, well, it started about, oh, yeah, and I haven't finished the first sentence yet. Yeah, I'm busy. Got a sandwich in the microwave. So the next thing I know, I'm sitting there and there's a beautiful young lady whose name, she told me her name, the first time around, she told me her name was Christine. And I thought, that rhymes with pristine. But how would you join the two together, you know? She said, the doctor wants some more blood from you. Was they gone stale, you know? So I had to, so she's merrily tapping away at my arm with her, drilling for oil there, and nothing's coming out, you know, there's no veins or anything left, you know. So she had to put the needle back in the hole that she previously made. So I'd said, well, you know, and I said, how do you pronounce your surname? And she told me. And I said, oh, what's the genesis of that? Etymology, I should have said, really, but. And she said, I don't understand. And I said, well, I'm Murphy and my name is Irish. Oh, Philippines, she said. Oh, wow. I said, well, on earth has brought you from the warmth of Manila, dark, dismal, and dungeon-like Yeovil. And I forget how we were going through that. Anyway, we just chatted for a couple of minutes while the blood was taken away, and then I got wheeled back into the waiting room again, starting to know the process by now. I got some more out of him. He's A.B. Reese's Paws. This is good stuff, this. Then the doctor comes through. When the Christine was doing the second load of bloods at this time, and as I said, well, you could see, you know, just the face mask, and I said, you've got the kindest eyes I've seen in a couple of decades. And she may well have been told that before, because, I mean, just a startling feature. Oh, that was the thing. So then, when I was sitting in the corridor, we're going back a little bit, She obviously gone for a lunch break at some point, lunch break at 4 o'clock in the morning, you know. Those poor people, their circadian rhythms must be all over the place. That's why I use a circadian rhythm machine. Drum machine joke. Rim shot. Don't be naughty. And she changed and she had a face mask off. And, I mean, you know, who do you want to name? You know, Rubens, maybe Modigliani, I mean, you know, any of the pre-Raphaelites, you know, Waterhouse, Turner. Just stunningly beautiful all the way through. Oh yeah, so I'm getting near the end of this now. So then I get wheeled back into the waiting room. Christine went on her way. And I was just thinking about it, and I thought, those eyes are like a tranquil ocean. Ding! Where's that damn phone? Okay, come on, fingers. And then I wrote the first 3 verses of this piece that you've heard there. And then as I'd finished it, I copyrighted and posted it myself. And then the doctor came through and said, "You're not having a heart attack, get out." Get a taxi home. By which point I had enough of the NHS, and I thought, well, because I mean, I'm virtually naked, you know. I'm barefoot, and my feet are turning blue. And you know what? You've got a lot of vehicles. So I said, well, what normally happens, and this is true, I said they normally arrange for the ambulance, the social ambulance crew to take me home. I just wanted to kip at that point. I thought, what the heck with this, you know. And also I thought, you know, Christine